Hello, Al Pals! Welcome to Big Al Presents Films with Friends, the film, the 1985 fantasy adventure cult classic Legend, starring Tom Cruise, Sara, and Tim Curry in his most frightening role. I don't care what you think about Pennywise. Darkness is the most evil character Tim Curry has ever played. This, of course, is also night number 2 of the Legend rewatch event on my channel. The Birdman and I last night watched the director's cut, which has a different score and 20 extra minutes of stuff. So we had a lot of fun last night watching that, but tonight is the Tangerine Dream soundtrack. US, I think it's I'm pretty sure it's the US version, but it is the Tangerine Dream soundtrack. Joining me, of course, is the beautiful fairy herself, Nanette of Netters Network. How are you doing, my lady? And what are you drinking tonight?
I'm doing fine. I think I'm finally over the flu, but my voice still keeps going in and out, so it'll be normal. Then it'll be squeaky, so be prepared. And I am drinking a Diet Dr. Pepper just because it's the end of the week and I liken that to like having a can of beer.
Well, nothing wrong with that. I have my Diet Mountain Dew, which is, of course, my go-to. And joining us is that powerful warrior of the forest himself, Troy Pacelli, Cartan, the Klingon cleric. How are you doing, sir? Welcome. And what are you drinking tonight?
I'm doing great, Al. Thanks so much. I am having a tab tonight because, well, it was the only thing that I had that was cold.
Well, there you go.
It's always an easy choice.
I kind of wish I had some elderberry wine because that's kind of something that is in this film a little bit. But that's
it's funny you mentioned that. We did just go shopping today, and I picked up what was it? I think it's cherry, pomegranate, and elderberry juice. It just sounded interesting. I want to give it a try.
Like all three together?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah, a mixture.
That will have antioxidants on steroids.
It'll have antioxidants, and who knows? Maybe I'll mix it with a little Everclear, so it'll have some real vitamins.
Have a little kick.
There you go.
But yeah, like I said last night, I had a lot of fun with the Birdman, Daniel Herron, watching the director's cut. Now, have either of you watched the director's cut?
No, we haven't.
It changes the film.
Honestly, if I had not been so busy getting stuff ready for my stream last night, I would have definitely been in there watching with you guys. Do have it though, so I can check it out maybe after this.
Definitely be a fun thing to check out because we were talking about it last night. I'd only seen the director's cut, I think once for sure, but I think I saw it another time. But it has been so long because I usually go to the U.S. version because that's the first one I saw. Now, I will admit, I think the director's cut is a superior film cinematically.
Mm-hmm.
And because Goldsmith's music just turns up the darkness and the seriousness,
mm-hmm.
and there are added scenes and the edits are different. And it's really a whole different experience. But this is the first one I saw in the movie theater with that Tangerine Dream soundtrack that I loved so much.
Yeah.
To this day, I said this last night, if someone asked me what my favorite Tom Cruise film is, this is the one I will answer.
Yeah.
I just love this film. Its art direction, the makeup, the look. It's just, I love this world that Ridley Scott created.
Your favorite?
Nope. No, I'm not saying Risky, but I like Risky Business fine. But this is the world I would live in. Well, Oh, well, I mean, Mia Sara, come on.
I was gonna say Mia Sara too. I mean, it's kind of
And I admitted this last night. I kind of had a little crush on Una the fairy when I saw this film. Kind of still do.
She
I kinda
is
like
sweet. She really is.
Oh, sweet as bee pollen, of course, as
Yep.
we know. But Annabelle Lanyon, British actress, never really known for anything else. I've seen some other stuff she's done, like in her demo reels and things. It's just kind of funny because she doesn't really look like Una, but
Right.
I mean, it's just a testament to the makeup, which is I think the only thing that got nominated for an Oscar for this film. So this is an Oscar-nominated film. Very good. But let's say hi to the chat. We got D. Penzak. Welcome, sir. He was with us last night, watching along. Sir Torrin Clegane. Welcome, sir. Welcome. Of course, Netter and Troy saying hi to everybody.
Yep.
And so far, that's all. That's all we've got so far, and that's fine. But so yeah, what's your history with the film? Like,
so
something you liked, or?
Well, for me, it was I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it when it was on cable. I want to say HBO, not 100% certain.
Okay.
But like so many of those early 80s films that we saw on cable, saw it over and over and over again. So let's face it, I wouldn't have watched it over and over again if I didn't really enjoy it, right? So
right, yeah, it's just a beautiful film. How about you, Netter? Is this something you've?
Yeah, I don't remember if I saw it in the theaters or I saw it on cable, but I have seen it a couple of times, and I always enjoyed it because it's just one of those kind of like fantasy films. It's like
Right.
boy loves girl, boy sort of loses girl, boy has to rescue girl.
Yeah, it's probably one of the truer fairy tale films. I mean, you get fantasy films and it's always something like Conan, the Beastmaster, where it's like this, great warrior fighting this, but this is much more in like you get the fairy folk, and you have an actual fairy.
I like that kind
of short, Billy Barty and Pork Hubbard. And Kieran Shaw, we were talking about Kieran Shaw last night, who plays Blunder, and because he's been in everything. I mean, he's been in different Star Wars versions of stuff, and oh man, but definitely a lot of credit there. So Torque again,
I saw that.
Big Al, how do you feel about this movie? Would you say you love it? I can't do it when I'm thinking about it.
Yeah,
I did it the other day. I just off the cuff.
I
love Legend.
It.
Okay, now I got Love Legend. Okay, that's about as close as I could.
Yeah.
I couldn't get the throaty little trill in there that I think I did before. I've got to find that original audio and listen to it again. But yeah, I did love this film because it was that different take. Jack is not this great warrior. I mean, he's very much a child of the forest who is kind of pressed into service, and being human is the only one who could really wield a sword. The little folk couldn't. So he kind of had to do the heavy lifting. But I just remember seeing it in the movie theater like in '86. I think it was the winter of '86 when it came out, or early spring, something around there, and just really liked it. I mean, it's called an '85 film. It was released in December in the UK, and I think January here. It's usually the other way around, whereas we get the films first and then England gets them second. But not
it
this
really
one.
does sound like there was something going on behind the scenes with the release, because I think that's what leads to it not only being released originally in Europe, but then it being changed when it was released here,
right.
Which also results in the soundtrack changes, the editing changes that you...
Jerry Goldsmith did his score, And there was discussion from higher ups, and that they wanted it to be a little more child friendly. So they put the Tangerine Dream for the U.S. audience, and then the British one, they still got the European version still got the Goldsmith soundtrack, but it's still that heavily cut version.
Oh,
and like I said, the director's cut has things like a riddle battle, the scene with the unicorns. It's totally different. It's got a whole more menacing feel when Lili is approaching, and it just has more menace. And in this version, as we'll see in a moment, darkness is immediately seen. In the director's cut, you do not see Tim Curry's character until an hour and 16 minutes into the film.
Wow.
And it's a great entrance way, and even the entrance is slightly altered. It's slightly edited different, so it's kind of cool. So enough talking about let's see, a child of the forest. Great. I'm going to see someone become a tree again?
Yeah.
Well, I always heard him described as that. Someone last night, and I think you'd appreciate this, they described him as a D&D ranger.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
and
I
was thinking he'd be a split class. I think he'd be like a ranger druid.
Possibly. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
When you were talking about the unicorns, I'd actually forgotten about the unicorns in this movie. I was thinking, oh yeah, in the director's cut, he finds the origami unicorn at the end.
Which may have been a little touch, because he was developing Legend when they were filming Blade Runner. So
makes sense.
Maybe it's a little subtle hint of things to come.
Maybe.
So for those of you who do not have this, and I don't know why you wouldn't, because it's an awesome CD, an awesome DVD. You get everything on it. But there is a Cosme link at the top.
Yep.
So you'll be able to watch along, and I've got mine all ready to go. Is everybody ready to watch Legend US version?
Yep.
Because I'm trying to. I was like, it's been a while since I've watched this. Not as long as the director's cut up until last night, but.
I was gonna say, you just watched the director's cut.
Yeah, just watch it. But now I'm interested to watch this after having this so fresh in my head.
Yeah.
I tried to get Daniel here, but he's had a long day, so he was tired. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, go. Wow, the stars.
There we go.
Universal. Someone said, does that make darkness a universal monster?
I mean, from a certain point of view, I suppose.
A certain point of view. It's like saying Princess Leia is a Disney princess. From a certain point of view.
So, David Pensek said, a Cinema Fantastique article from 85 said MCA had Sid Schneinberg? Oh, wait a minute. Once, long ago, before there was such a thing as time, the world was shrouded in darkness. Then came the splendor of light, bringing life and love into the universe. The Lord of Darkness retreated deep into the shadows of the earth, plotting to return to power by banishing light forever. But precious light is protected, harbored in the souls of unicorns, the most mystical of all creatures. Unicorns are safe from the Lord of Darkness. They can only be found by the purest of mortals. Such a mortal is Jack, who lives in solitude with the animals of the forest. A beautiful girl named Lili loves Jack with all her heart. In their innocence, they believe only goodness exists in the world. Together they will learn there can be no good without evil, no love without hate, no heaven without hell, no light without darkness. The harmony of the universe depends upon an eternal balance. Out of the struggle to maintain this balance comes the birth of legends.
Right, and that entire prologue is not in the director's cut.
I'm guessing that because
the director's cut starts here.
I was going to say, I'm guessing because of the edits, they needed to fill in some background or something.
Well, you know, the mid '80s, they love to have that little prologue at the beginning. I mean, look
Yeah,
at Star Wars. I mean,
true,
everybody's doing
true,
prologues.
true. But he was saying that MCA had Scheinberg for the music change chance, and thinking the new age music category would bring more young people to see the film. I
Right.
can see that, and
Hmm.
honestly, I'm not having seen the director's cut. I'm a little surprised, that you would say that the Goldsmith was the darker one, because I was always thinking, wow, this synthetic, Tangerine Dream seems pretty dark.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the film's got a great dark aesthetic
Yeah,
anyway. Like, I mean, just look at it.
right.
The blacks and blues with just a little bit of light there. Um, but they had when they were going through the cast, Alice Playton, who plays Blix, the head goblin,
Yeah.
also does the voice of Gump, David Bennett's
Oh.
character, because David Bennett sounded kind of too Germanish. He's
Oh.
actually he's actually Swiss, but he kind of had that accent.
Yeah.
It was a little too harsh, so they dubbed him over.
So you pointed this out. It's dark, but it's got like this blue filter over it.
Yeah.
I miss this. This
Mhm.
needs to come back because there are so many films today that are so dark you can't see a damn thing.
Right.
This
I agree with you 100%.
this is dark, but you can still see everything.
Right. And see, this scene where he's chopping the guy
Yeah.
was actually later in the film when they were all in.
Oh.
Yeah, all that was redone. And see, here we see darkness. And we didn't see him up until, like I said, an hour some into the film.
Yeah.
Those little devil things with the wings freak me out.
Yeah. Comes off like a homunculus or something.
Yeah. His voice is perfect. David Pezek says they needed to educate us silly Americans.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
bring us up to speed. Reminiscent of the Sistine Chapel.
Right, exactly. Black as pitch.
Blacker than the foulest witch. Great lines in this movie.
Yeah.
Those glasses on the table, Ridley Scott still has those.
Wow.
If you can believe IMDb.
At last we see Frankenfurter's true form, Sir Torrance said. I get the point, Lord.
Innocence. Yeah, but Alice Playton, who played Blix there, I think just recently passed away.
Aw. And this is a polar opposite scene.
Yeah, you're right, David Penzak. It is interesting to. That's why I wanted to do both,
Yeah.
instead of just watching one or the other. It is neat to see the compare. I kind of wish you could have joined us last night, Troy, to watch it, but I knew you had your own event happening last night.
Yeah, and like I said, I also had a flat tire that I had to deal with that cut into my evening, so that was rough.
Mia Sara, beautiful girl.
This was her first role, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. I was wondering if she had done this before Ferris Bueller. Yeah, this is her first film, and then followed it up with Ferris Bueller. I like that blooming fairies.
Yeah,
she said earlier there. Oh, this is a world I would love to live in.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't look at this as innocently as I should. I see the bird flying around. I'm like, he's gonna crap all over that fruit.
Yeah, I know. Clock's not creepy at all. Let's see it again left from last night.
Right.
A little foreshadow vision.
Yep.
That was in last night's as well. Now they call her a lady in this one, but in the director's cut, they make it clear she is a princess.
Oh.
And that was. Watch out for Spriggan and Banshee.
So I never really thought about this before, but she's got a slight affectation of a British accent. Not full on, not over the top, just slight.
Kind of like an American trying to sound posh.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yeah, it works. Well, when I used to do medieval recreations, like in the public, we always said, don't do the British accent because you always sound like you're doing Monty Python.
Right.
So, just stick to your normal accent and just go that route because it just sounds weird because we always sound like we want to do Monty Python,
Right, exactly. But what I was going to say about that is, for her first role, not bad for a kid from the Bronx, right?
It's like, did you notice the Blix showed first the skin tones are beige versus usual dark skin color? I didn't really notice that. Pretty cool, though. The Maverick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom Cruise was not happy with this version of the film.
Why not?
He much preferred the Goldsmith soundtrack. He felt like the Tangerine Dream kind of kiddified it too much.
Oh, I see. Yeah, now that you're talking it up like that, I think I'm going to have to check it out now.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, it does it's kind of, you're so used to seeing certain scenes in certain places that seeing it re-edited can be a little jarring if you really know what you're looking at. I do love this soundtrack.
See, what I love is this flute.
Mm-hmm. Because it does give it that ethereal mood. Yeah, I have no issue. I have no issue at all with the Tangerine Dream soundtrack. I'm just saying it does change.
Sure.
The feeling is totally different. So what I'm getting from the story is that it's about a bunch of grumpy old people encouraging on hippie life.
I mean, I suppose that's one way of looking at it.
Well, if you're living in the forest, consider it a hippie thing. I don't know.
I trust you, but I'm not going to let you see where I'm taking you.
For some reason, I just thought of my ex-girlfriend who hated the concept of being blindfolded.
Well, if you really have that kind of an aversion to it, it probably implies you have some trust issues.
It was I mean, I loved her to death, but yeah, she had some trust stuff. We were talking about, I brought it up last night, the film Time Cop that Mia Sara's in. Have you ever seen it?
Oh, yeah.
Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Yep.
It's kind of but cause I was thinking, it's a time travel film. I think it would be something that Troy could put in his quiver.
I liked the movie, but it wasn't
as dynamic.
It was meh,
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I thought for what it was
Oh, yeah.
good.
I agree with you. It just doesn't, I was really focusing on the really, really good or the really, really bad time travel. This one didn't fit into either.
You recognize the sound of the unicorns?
Is that the same sound that they use for the whales in
Humpback whales? Yep.
Star Trek 3?
Well, I don't know if it's the exact same soundtrack, the sounds, but it's a humpback whale. Ugly one-horned mules.
Ugly one-horned mules. I forgot he said that. Yeah.
Blunder is funny. That's Karen Shaw playing Blunder under that weird little helmet.
And I gotta say, I was always impressed with how they pulled off the horns on the unicorns.
Yeah, I was noticing last night. It's like it looks like it's a part of them. There's not that much wiggle to them. The director's cut, he is much more angered by what she's doing.
Another person who doesn't listen when they're told to stay back.
Yeah.
Well, and based on all the lore, she should not be able to approach them.
Well,
the fact that she
I would think she's probably a virgin. She's probably innocent. But the dark thoughts are what I'm thinking you're talking about, right?
Yeah, exactly. And she is still just innocent enough.
Right.
But it also, my read of this, and only from this version, was that it was her approaching them that makes this possible.
Right. It attracts them.
Right.
The pureness and innocence. Someone also mentions, like, it looks like they're in the Upside Down with all the stuff floating around.
Yeah, yeah.
That's an iconic shot right there.
The long mane helps, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But I still am not clear how they've got that horn affixed.
Yeah, because when they run, it doesn't really wobble that much.
Not much, no.
I mean, that's some good glue, or a good harness, or however.
Yeah.
They did it. I don't think it's CGI'd. It's practical. See, she's given a much more innocence here, but last night, in the director's cut, she comes off much more bratty and entitled because she's a princess. But they edited it more towards her favor.
Yeah.
Or her not being as spoiled. Something doesn't feel right.
Touch the unicorn and now look what happened.
You broke nature.
Well, one of them's poisoned right now, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Makes you wonder about their prior relationship.
Yeah, yeah. I always
this
thought
point.
that. How does a princess meet this child of the forest? You know?
Because another character I wondered about is Blunder. Because he mentions that he went looking for, in the direction, he went looking for adventure and kind of ended up where he was.
Is that really him diving off the cliff?
I think it was a stuntman.
I mean, I know he does a lot of his own stunts. That's why.
Yeah, but back then probably not.
But Netter, it is his real hair.
Yeah.
He did grow his hair. He did have long hair for this role. He had let it grow out.
It's been a long time since I've seen this, and now I'm starting to remember what's coming next. I'm like, man, this is great.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen this, so I don't remember what comes next.
Yeah, I was talking to the Birdman last night. He had started watching this,
Uh-huh.
but didn't finish it because he hated the Tangerine Dream music.
Oh.
But he really liked the one last night. He said it was a beautiful film.
Now that's terrifying.
Yeah, that's a great makeup. You dive in looking for a ring, and you come up, and
Yeah.
the world is turned to winter.
Now, so
And look at, I love the sparkling that they
Oh,
get
yeah.
the snow.
and it
Has
makes
a
me
lot
wonder
of
if that's
glitter.
in camera or if that's some sort of animation after the fact.
I think it's in camera. I think it's glitter.
It could
Because
be.
you also see glitter on them a lot too.
True. No, that is true. Um, so as you pointed out, they use the whale sounds for the unicorns, which I think makes a lot of sense because that style of horn, which is, oh, I'd forgotten about this.
Yeah.
The freeze came so fast. Yeah.
But she was outside in it.
Oh, there's magic going on. But what people believe to have been unicorn horns, we believe were actually narwhal tusks.
Yeah. Yep.
So that connection between whales and unicorns, I like that being preserved here.
Yeah, I never thought about that, but that's cool. You know, Netta, you were talking about, like, basically why did the woman freeze but not Lili? And I'm thinking because she touched the unicorn. There's some kind of magic there
Oh yeah, could be.
that preserved her.
I could eat her brains like jam.
Damn.
So see, they just confirmed it. It was because she lured the.
Right.
Yeah, it was her fault basically.
Yeah, she led him to him.
And if you think about it, it's a very archetypical, theme, right? The 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 innocent girl bringing evil into the world, whether it's Eve in the Bible or Pandora in the box.
Yep. The Pezek saying it was a set practical effect of the snow glitter. Yeah. They must have used a ton of glitter in this film because it's everywhere. Oh, that sparkler effect that he's got on his torch.
I mean, it could be just as easy as they have a road flare in there,
Right.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. Look at that. The snow came in so fast that the mushrooms are just frozen and covered.
Warm as butt.
It's Gump, Honeythorn Gump.
Yeah.
I did that last night too. I always have this theory that Gump knows exactly what happened. Even though he acts surprised and everything.
Actually, I'm not sure he knows the details. I think he knows something.
He knows Jack is involved.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Evelyn. See, that kind of an argument. We meant no harm. That doesn't matter what you meant.
Yeah. Now, the director's cut, this is a much longer scene, and there's a lot happens before this. That's kind of spooky.
Yeah.
I love that little jar and the little teeny cups that they use.
That's Billy Barty, isn't it?
Yep.
Looks like it.
Screw top.
He's always so heavily made up, but you could always tell it's him.
Hey, Evelyn Hampton, she can't stay tonight. I gave you a thumbs up. Thank you, Evelyn.
Thanks so much, Evelyn.
God bless you. It was like we were wondering, like, I never really thought about it, but there are bubbles floating around.
Yep.
I was like, why are there bubbles? I do not know. Happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you next week. From Evelyn.
Oh,
Thank
happy
you, Evelyn.
Thanksgiving.
Definitely have a happy Thanksgiving, and God bless you.
Reminds me of the weather we're having here.
Are you guys all prepared for Thanksgiving?
We did our shopping today, so yeah, we're pretty much ready.
I should grab the turkey out of the freezer so I can start thawing.
Yeah, we'll do that after the movie.
Yeah, so one thing I don't have is my protein. Monday I'm going to do a Instacart order and try to get maybe some smoked turkey legs or a small little cutlet or something. Because the Knights of Columbus dropped off a rotisserie chicken. But basically they said, it's not going to last till Thanksgiving, but we wanted you to have it. So I was like, oh, thank you.
Well, good.
I've been ripping into that the last couple of days. It's good. I think it was, I'm trying to remember if it was, no, it was probably Vangelis that got me into New Age.
Possibly,
but
yeah.
Tangerine Dream really, like, upped it.
Yeah. Poor Uni.
Uni.
Which would make this one the last unicorn.
That's a different movie.
Oh, you didn't know the last unicorn's a sequel to this.
Kind of looks like Jon Snow.
Yeah, he knows nothing.
I love this lighting effect on the unicorn.
Oh, yeah. You keep saying that. It doesn't change anything.
He was blinded by love. That is a beautiful piece of music for that scene.
It is.
I like that. You'll do.
No.
What other choice do we have?
Nah, it'll be fine. See, I told you.
I wonder why he couldn't go in, but Una could.
Because she's tiny?
Well, I mean, he's going in. Gump is a whole lot smaller than him.
Maybe magical creatures are affected if they go in.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
they're really going for the whole humans have some essence that's different from the fairy folk. Also, he's the only one who's going to be big enough to fit into that armor.
Yeah, and if the armor has iron, fairies do not do well with iron.
Oh, right, exactly.
I don't know if they actually considered that. I mentioned this is like I have never liked that sword. It just looks wrong to me. I mean, if you look really close, you can tell what that armor is made of.
Looks like coins.
It does look like coins.
They're bottle caps that have been flattened
Are
out.
they?
Yep, it was bottle caps were the basis for it.
It would be hard to find that many bottle caps these days.
Yeah, it's still pop. They still have the little twist offs, the metal twist offs. But yeah, everything now is all plastic. Hot seat, and then the over-exaggerated steam. Keep looking to see what they're cooking. Yeah, not surprised the pig would want a big giant pile of slop.
Right.
Big D.
And they're looking at him like, the hell's wrong with you, man?
for some reason he knows Spanish, but that's. Satorga Gay said there are so many Legend of Zelda jokes one could make about this movie. There was. I'm not going to say a rumor, but there was always this link between the two that they said that Legend influenced Legend of Zelda. It's unsubstantiated, but. Power of creation. That's what a female has.
I mean, you gotta admit, he puts up a good fight here.
Yep. I was kind of having Tangled flashbacks last night. I was like,
Chase
yeah,
out
you
the
know,
unicorn, stupid.
frying pan. Who knew? What'd you say, Netter?
I said she needs to chase out the unicorn.
May or may not want to have left Stallion's body there either. Maybe that's why she didn't run away.
Yeah. They killed you too? She was alive still when they killed me.
I love that line.
See, and it's little lines like that that give you all kinds of background, you know? Mm-hmm. And your imagination can just fill in all the details.
About to meet Meg Mucklebones, the only person in this movie I've actually met.
Oh!
Well, you know who plays Meg Mucklebones, right?
No, I don't.
I'll wait till she pops up. Don't look it up in the meantime.
I won't.
Oh, cracking open another tab.
To drink, not in my browser. I'm not looking anything up.
Oh no, I wasn't. I love his little turned up shoes.
Yeah.
Now I'm expecting it to be spit back out again like in Star Wars. Doesn't like R2.
Foul tasting fatty. That is Robert Picardo.
It is?
Yep. Robert Picardo did a lot of makeup work back in the 80s. You remember Explorers?
Huh.
With the three kids who build the weird little ship that ends up going to space?
Yeah.
He was one of the one of the aliens.
Oh.
Actually, he was two of the aliens. He was the boy and the father. Ah!
Well, I mean, if someone tells you, I am going to eat you, I would call that self-defense.
Oh, yeah. First time he's ever killed somebody with a sword. And also, director's cut, that scene is extended as well.
I would imagine, yeah.
There's a lot more to it. That is an ugly, scary-looking tree.
Yeah. And this statue in the foreground looks like Pazuzu from the
Exorcist.
The Exorcist.
Looks like a Greek helmet there from Clash
Yep.
of the Titans.
Sure. Oh, wee!
Look at this. I think I'll pull on it. Right into the dungeon.
Yeah.
You just broke into prison.
Yeah, Dave Pezek saying next scene was trimmed down a bit in this version. Yeah, because they had the whole thing in the director's cut where he's like, but a woman as lovely as you, you're the most lovely creature I've ever seen.
And see, there's a whole implied story there, too.
Yeah, I mean, he basically said he left home looking for adventure. And it kind of led him to where he was. And it is. There's this whole, story. It's like, just for blunder. It's like, what led him to have this helmet on and join the goblins? See, they're showing the chopping
Yeah.
on the table.
Yeah, you would have to assume that they've been chopping that guy all this time.
Yeah, or it's just a different guy.
True.
Look at that hair.
Yeah.
I know, I love it.
She's really pretty, though.
Yeah. What's harder is to mean it.
Sweeter than bee pollen.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Yep. More bubbles.
Yeah.
Don't upset a fairy.
Yeah.
What would have happened if you had kissed her? Would you have been under like a certain spell or not?
The other thing that I always thought was Una and Jack kind of came off to me as kind of a Tinkerbell and Peter Pan kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that last night a little bit. Someone mentioned the they mentioned Hook. It is like that the fairy having feelings for man. But Una would have been a great design for a Tinkerbell in a
Right.
live action Peter Pan. Yeah, I'll take the guy who has the bow and arrow, and I'll leave the two short old guys behind.
Why me?
Woo.
Right. So the whole, snake and Eve thing.
Eve, yeah. I know in some alternate versions of the story, there was a much more devious event that would happen, or attempted anyway.
Yeah. This looks like something out of an H.R. Giger nightmare.
That is a cool set design, though.
Right?
Someone said Ridley Scott has a trope of columns in his work.
Wouldn't surprise me, yeah.
I didn't know that.
A recurring theme, yeah. But again, all the glitter.
Yeah. I love the slow-mo of this scene.
Gives it that dreamlike quality.
Yeah.
The two green men on either side of the door.
You can tell those are contacts.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about the lenses that Tim Curry was using in the opening scene. There's no way he could see through them. Which is why, of course, he's just seated there.
Kind of reflective.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was done practical.
I'm sure it was. Especially since they perfectly matched his nails.
Like how Gump's like scratching like a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, David Pence looks like a Ridley in his columns. I never knew that about him. Columns in Blade Runner at the Tyrell office with Rachel, this film, and Someone to Watch Over Me and others.
Yeah.
I just find it so annoying that her hair is her face. It's like, I just want to pull it back into a ponytail.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was done back, before. She's kind of been through some stuff.
Now she's undergoing her temptation.
Yeah.
Those glasses again.
Yeah.
I wonder if Ridley Scott displays them or if he actually drinks out of them.
Uses them, yeah. And what was I saying before about Pandora in the box?
Yeah.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah. All that glitters is not gold.
Kali Ma! Kali Ma!
Talk about gauche.
Yeah. This is a clever little effect.
Yeah. And it's a much longer scene in the director's cut. A little more humpback whale there, I just noticed.
Yeah.
And a partial acceptance of the darkness. And an epic entrance.
And she goes goth.
This scene is I like the emergence better in this version. Because there's a little one of him coming fully out, like using the torso.
Yeah.
And his head coming out, and it just looked off.
Oh.
So I like how they did. I like how this was edited.
I love that. She tries to scream, but her vocal cords are frozen with fright.
Yeah. Ever dance with the devil of the pale moonlight? Thanks, Day. I think you know what I'm talking about because you watched it last night too. It was all because of how the head came out of the mirror. It just looked off. Germinates. Love the way he says that word. This is like one of the best devils ever.
I know, right?
That is a plunging neckline too, buddy.
I know.
Man, you just told the good guys how to beat you.
Yep. And he remembers how.
Yeah. Gives him that idea.
Oof.
love Billy Barty. He's such a staple in fantasy films. Because, like I said, this Willow, Masters of the Universe. He's biting his knee. I love that. Now, did you catch there what he says? Another 3 flicks of a badger's tail.
Yeah.
There is much more to how he tells time.
Oh.
In the director's cut, it's really cool. Like one is like Bluebird's heartbeats, and just a couple others. It's sort of, and Under the Rainbow. Cork Hubbard was in that too, Under the Rainbow. The one who plays Brown Tom. In fact, most of the short people in Hollywood were in Under the Rainbow.
Well, he kind of already is shish kebab.
Shut up! You're gonna wake up the thingy.
I always pondered that. The festering forelock of Nicodemus.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, that is a reference to something we have no idea about.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I wonder where those plates are today. If they still exist or if they were melted down.
Yeah, who knows?
Repurposed.
They're probably turned into children's sleds and sold at the local law.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah.
And that's probably what those are. Those are probably sleds just painted silver.
Probably.
I like that little frisbee playing. Whee!
Throw it already.
Gump, watch out for the gimp.
It's a nasty cleaver he's got.
I like that. Dodge, kick. Dodge, kick.
It rates up there with the holy hand grenade of Antioch.
Yeah. Soup's ready.
It was his Conan the Barbarian moment, dumping all the soup out.
I mean, that's a novel way to take him out.
Whatever works, man.
Yeah, save the cheers until you get done with this.
Yeah. I like how the one who was threatening to eat Lily's brains like jam is now on their side.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they saved his butt.
What's the matter? Am I not small enough? I like that, David. It rates up there with the Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch. It was the boiling broth of whatever.
I think what makes that line is festering.
Yeah.
Festering before Locker Nicodemus.
We can make it if we try.
He's trying to be smooth and seductive.
And that bit where he loses it and says sit or stand as you choose always makes me think of Ricardo Montalban with in Space Seed.
I don't think even J-Lo's dress was as deeply cut as Lily's.
And somehow it works with Mia Sara because she doesn't have such a huge chest, you know?
Right. It would have been too much if her boobs were almost falling out.
Right.
You can say it. She's flat-chested.
Yeah, and like I said, I think it works for her. Yeah, Persephone, eat. Now, those contact lenses that he's wearing, the black slits would allow him to see,
All right.
but they've got to be incredibly uncomfortable.
I love this rage that he's in.
Yeah.
can't believe he's such a sucker that he believed that she would do it. You never think of the devil being trusting.
True. But also, I mean, I don't think you're really supposed to think of him as the devil, right? Because he's got a father.
Yeah, and a mother.
And
Mother Night.
And he has a... It's like he's got a kind of naivete.
Right. And and you're right. It's because someone last night in chat said he's like Satan. I was like, no, not really. He'd make a great Satan to look good, but it's a different world.
Yeah.
It's a different pantheon, as it were.
Right.
He is the Lord of Darkness, but even Lord of Darkness has someone above him. Him climbing was much longer of a process.
I would imagine, yeah.
It's like
he who hesitates gets locked on the other side.
It's like he better hope you got all the angles right.
But yeah, I could see why it would be important to see that long climb, because as he is exhausted,
right?
You want to establish why he's so exhausted.
Mare is not going to go down lightly. Is Tom Cruise left-handed?
I actually don't know.
Because he's shooting the
bow. But you're right, he's drawing it left-handed.
I've never noticed that until just now. I was on fanfiction.net to see if anybody had written any legend stories. And someone wrote one where Jack shot her.
Oh.
Kind of a twist. I was like, ooh.
Jawas.
See, I don't know why he didn't hold the... Oh, he did shoot. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's about to get another arrow at him, too.
You know, his horns are kind of flopping.
Yeah. Well, I do know they made them a lot lighter.
Yeah.
For him, because he was struggling with the heavier ones. That is a thick sword he's got too, man.
Yeah.
Blink.
See, he tried that same move where he dodges and kicks, but the kick didn't land.
That spinning Hollywood move.
Yeah.
Oh, Dave Patzak says Cruz is a lefty. Yeah, makes sense in the way he was shooting.
Well, I mean, I'm a lefty, but I do a lot of things right-handed, probably because everyone else in my family is right-handed except for me.
Yeah.
And you could tell that was a stuntman too from the hair.
Yeah.
Fleas. 'Tis easy enough to scratch. That's my favorite line.
Yeah. He reaches in and pulls out the glaive.
I was thinking the same thing, man.
Oh, I'm going to give it to you all right, pal.
I am your father.
Yeah, I was just saying, farewell to arms once again.
But I love how he like blinks out into the five little points of light. I think that's just so cool. And they don't have these songs in the director's cut either.
Right.
Now, somewhere along the way, someone had to dress her.
Yeah. Well, no, wait a minute, because remember that black dress was a magical dress.
But it was still on her even after he blinked out, though. I was wondering about that. I'll just say that. Maybe it's this love note that I hit when I was talking about how I loved Legend.
Yeah.
Ah, by the sun.
So who glued the unicorn horn back on?
It was magic. You just had to touch it to it.
Mm-hmm. And they're happy again.
Yep. Now leave him alone this time, damn it.
Right?
And off into the sun, well, rise, I guess, in this case.
And Centurion says, and the Columbia logos reunite and run off into the forest.
Yeah.
You'll never get rid of darkness.
Well, right. I mean, he's an eternal force, right?
Yep.
That was just a personification. Now, think about this. She said, when she threw that ring, I will marry whoever finds this ring.
Right.
Does that mean they get married?
Who knows? Well, in this one, okay, I'm going to turn down my volume a little bit so I'm not listening to the song. In this version, they run off together towards the sun.
Yeah.
In the director's cut, it ends differently. She goes back. She's basically going back to her kingdom, and he's running towards the sun by himself.
Huh.
But there is that same, like I said, I'll marry the man. The ring thing is still in it.
Right.
But there's nothing. Like I said, it's not really addressed later on as to will they, won't they?
Well, right, and well, it should not be. I am not suggesting that they do a sequel or a, made for cable series or anything like that. Leave it the way it is. Leave it to my imagination.
Yeah. Now, saying that, I would not mind more films with this kind of fantasy feel.
Yes.
Like the flowers, the fairy folk,
it's fine to keep it. It's fine to keep the history ambiguous. It's fine to keep the future ambiguous. Just tell us a story set in a fantasy world. Let our imaginations fill in all the rest.
Right. Like, there's a lot of little elements, like backstories to these characters.
Yeah.
That it's a fun playground for your head, everybody, I mean, Gump's got a history. Una, why did Una not show herself to Gump?
Right.
Screwball and Brown Tom have a history. Blunder's little how'd he end up with the goblins?
Right.
And like I said earlier, how did Jack and Lily meet? Was she just running through the forest one day and suddenly this cute little kid in ratty clothes kind of pops out on her? And where are his parents?
Right.
Kind of is like there's a lot of story to be told there.
Do you think that when this was written, do you think they had all those things in mind, or did they just...
Well, I know the guy who wrote the story, it morphed a lot. It changed a lot. Darker elements and, names were different and some concepts were different. But basically they wanted to do a fairy tale type story like this.
Yeah.
And I think they went the right route. It's very simplistic, good versus evil. Couple of young, good-looking leads. You got your fairies, you got your elf-looking guy, you got the little brownie / gnome dwarf kind of people, and your goblins and your Lord of Darkness. I just think all those elements are just so wonderful and such a great fantasy aspect that you don't see. I mean, like I said, you'll see the sword and sorcery kind of stuff, but you rarely see the fairy tales. The true fairy tales.
Right.
Pinewood Studios, which burned down, which I think the 007 stage burned down.
Yeah.
When they were filming there. Well, that is the U.S. version of Legend. I have seen Legend twice in the last 24 hours. Well, a little more than 24 hours. And I have loved both. I love both of them. And like I said, different films, different feel. The story is basically the same, but with a lot different atmosphere and mood thanks to the soundtrack. It's a lot of people sometimes don't realize how powerful or to what degree the music in a film can affect it. And you don't get to see films often that have two versions with two different soundtracks. And this just happens to be a very special and wonderful case. It shows just how important changing the music can be and what it can do to a film. So, but yeah, Dave Pezak, thank you for being here, Dave Pezak. He was here last night giving us tips and stuff. Big Legend fan.
Good.
Wanting to do this film for a while. I love this film, and that is the end of the fantasy month on my channel. Next week we are going to be heading into the seas in Knitters Network, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
I'm all right.
Yes, you are. And I'm doing the dance over here too.
Me too. I'm wiggling too a little bit in my bed here. That's right. We'll be watching Caddyshack. I'm looking forward to that. Love Caddyshack. That's a great film. Yep. Love that gopher. And Bill Murray. That's a funny performance by Bill Murray. I got to admit. But of course, we've got a whole week before that, starting tomorrow night on, I guess, Geeky Geezers happening tomorrow night.
Yep, tomorrow, Geeky Geezers over on Aged Boomer's channel. There's a lot of DC news. There's a lot of Marvel news. There's a lot of in-between news. Some streaming news. Some entertainment business news. Yeah.
Did Andy Dick or the Flash Kid do anything else this week?
No. Actually, the Andy Dick thing, I swear.
They got 24 hours, so I'm sure something.
Well, that's true too. It's funny because Boomer and I trade articles back and forth, and then I kind of compile them all together in what I think is a reasonable order of things.
Right.
Kind of an outline format. Send it back to him, and then he usually decides, okay, we got too much. Let's take this out. Let's take that out. And when he sent me the Andy Dick thing, I was like, wait, seriously? All right, I'll put it in there. And then he's like, we can leave it out if you think. And I'm like, dude, leave it in, and we'll just decide, if we're running too long on Sunday, we can drop it. He's like, no, yeah, I think it would be interesting. I'm like, okay, your show. And actually, I feel like we did get some good mileage out of it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Andy Dick's a
What a weird story.
Yeah, but yeah, so tomorrow at 9 o'clock on
Yep.
Age of Boomers channel, check out Geeky Geezers. On Monday, check out my friend Sound Engraver, the newly engaged Sound Engraver. I am the best man. I'm so happy. Tuesday
You
night,
are the best man. There's no doubt
I am
about that.
in all cases, basically.
Yep.
You know, just
I agree.
across the board. Tuesday night, anything that you know of? This is Thanksgiving week, so I know things are going to be a little weird and different.
I don't remember if Aged Boomer said that Mr. Matchstick was doing anything on Tuesday. I just don't remember.
Oh, sorry. Because they haven't had it in a while, I actually do believe they're going to have a Batman show on Monday. 2 o'clock on Soundtracks with Birdman. They are not doing John Barry because they kind of feel he may be cursed. Because every time they've tried to do a John Barry show, it's crapped out. So I think they're just going to do a general show, kind of get back in the flow.
That's fair.
Soundtrack talk with the Birdman, 2 o'clock on Monday, Batman show. Awesome, awesome show. I tried to get the other two guys for Legend last night, but one of them, it was the middle of the morning in England, and the other one it just didn't work out.
Sure.
But so yeah, we talked about Tuesday, Wednesday. Soundtracks of Birdman, don't know.
Yeah.
I have to talk to him. I do not know if he's got anything planned. He's still recovering a little bit. But we did talk about Thursday night. That's right, Thanksgiving night. This is this is not definite yet, but it's a likelihood that the Birdman and I, sometime in the early evening, may watch a very famous, quote unquote, famous sci-fi film from the late 70s. Can you guess what it is? That's right, it's David Hasselhoff in Star Crash.
Oh, I never would have guessed that. No, I would not have guessed that at all.
He got the soundtrack to it. He was like, "Have you ever seen this?" And I'm like, "I got it, man." And he's like, "You want to watch it?" I'm like, "Sure." So we talked about maybe watching it Thursday. We'll kind of see how the week goes, how he feels. Maybe do it, maybe not. Which leads into Friday, and you have a special rewatch happening.
I absolutely do. My annual Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Love it.
I do too. It's such a thing. And Netter even said, "You don't want to do that on Thursday?" I said, "No." I said, "I don't really have anything planned for Friday." And I think sometimes trying to do it on the holiday is just too much sometimes.
Sometimes you try to shoehorn something in, it's just not working.
And people want to spend time with their families. They don't want to go, "Oh, I gotta go watch the stream."
Yeah,
they want to spend time with their families or whatever.
So I'll just stick to doing that one as my regular Friday night last call for Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
So if you want to see, want to try to find the possibility of seeing Troy cry,
it's very likely. Yeah,
watch Planes, Trains, and Automobile with him on his channel.
Always.
Yeah. Hey,
and my previous rewatches are up too.
I choke up too, and I kind of get all a little verklempt. So I'm with you, dude. That's a very heartfelt film.
I am not even embarrassed because many years ago, my grandfather, when our family was going through a really rough time, he said, "I noticed nobody's paying attention to you." I was real young at the time, and he said, "How are you feeling?" I said, "I feel like I could cry." And he goes, "Well, why don't you?" And I said, "Well, because boys don't cry." And he says who? He says, "Look at your Uncle Richard." My Uncle Richard was, built like a brick shit house, He says he's crying. And who's going to tell him that he can't cry? He's a big guy. Anyone would be afraid to tell him that.
I have always found crying very cathartic.
Mm-hmm.
And I have seen commercials I cry at. And I feel kind of better afterwards. Plus, it kind of, it's a good way to clean debris out of your eyes.
Well, that's true.
It always works. Planes, Trains, Automobiles, Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Like I said, Thanksgiving night, don't know. don't know if me and the Birdman are going to link it up. I'm kind of hoping to. I've never seen Star Crash. I've been wanting to.
Well, you know what?
Gotten around to it.
I'm subscribed to both of you, and I have the notification bell on, so I will know if you guys go live.
There you go. That's right.
See that?
Which will lead us, like I said, into Saturday, 10 o'clock on the Netters Network, watching Caddyshack.
Yeah.
So that'll be awesome.
And if you don't...
sorry.
I was going to say, and if you don't mind me promoting a couple more videos of mine,
Go for it.
I did drop a cooking video on the Klingon Cleric channel, which is on my Troy Pacelli page on the community tab. There's a link to it.
I need to watch that. The wasakaberry pudding.
It's the wasakaberry pudding. You know, what's funny is I filmed the footage last year and did not get around to it and didn't like the way the cooking portion turned out. So when I cooked this year, I got that footage. So the first half of it is from last year. The cooking footage is from this year. And I put it out just before we went live last night.
So it's kind of cobbled together.
And you only notice it in like the sound quality of the first half to the second half, but it's okay.
I probably wouldn't have even noticed it if you hadn't said nothing.
I know, but I like to share those behind the scenes type things. And I will be having at least 2 more videos in that same series. I just couldn't get them done before the Life Day celebration.
So you should just change it to Cartan the Klingon Cook.
Well, it's funny because I was thinking that too. My Gach video on there has gotten so many likes and comments and stuff that I think that's what people are looking for over there.
I love anything.
Chef Carton.
Yeah.
Chef Carton.
Chef Carton. And I actually do have another Klingon dish that I want to get done probably in December. Now that I've got a good setup for filming in the kitchen, I may do more of those. And so yeah, plus I have a metric crap ton of Star Wars toy videos to get done. That commercial that I did that I featured on the stream last night.
I went on that guy you talked about, something Solo.
Oh, Stan Solo, yeah.
Stan Solo. I went on his Etsy page last night.
Yeah.
Well, and man, there's some cool stuff on there.
Is his stuff back up on Etsy? Because
I was thinking about getting one of the replacement lightsabers with the little tippy thing on it.
Yes,
Because I chopped my tip off of Luke's lightsaber when I was
right. Yeah,
so,
me too.
I could replace that. I was trying to. I think $3, $4, something like that.
Yeah.
But sorry.
I was going to say his stuff, and I've got a couple others of his that I'm going to show. The quality is so good that if you don't look at the back, you know, the copyright information on the back that says Stan Solo, you wouldn't know that it wasn't like a vintage figure. Well, I mean, aside from the fact that some of these figures never existed, you know, I mean, but I've got a bunch of custom videos, Stan Solo, Pro Custom, some resin printed ones from Trash Compactor Toys. I'll be showing those off. They're all in my line of custom Star Wars Holiday Special figures. I will also show off that Stan Solo Bantha figure. That one definitely needs to be showed off. So, but yeah, that commercial that I did for the Mail Away Akmina, that got so many views that I'm like, okay, clearly people want to see more toy videos. I'm going to go ahead and do it.
Yeah. And as for my channel, of course, like I said, this was the last of the fantasy month on November, and Big Al Presents is going to be going into December, and of course, it is the holiday season.
Yep.
So my first rewatch in December, I want to say 3rd or 5th. Whichever, 2 weeks from tonight, or it's not after midnight. It's the 3rd. Okay, December 3rd. Going to be watching the classic Miracle on 34th Street with Maureen O'Hara, and may have a special guest joining us that night. Miss Sierra from the Iconicast days has kind of mentioned maybe joining us for that rewatch. Cause,
What night is that?
Saturday, December 3rd, 10 o'clock.
Okay. Okay.
As usual, 2 weeks from tonight, as usual.
That would be awesome. I've talked to
yeah.
her in the chat of a video one time, just chatting back and forth in the comments section.
Yeah,
so it'd be nice to talk to her directly.
Awesome. We did Love Actually, me and her last year. Just a real good friend, and like I said, I told her, whenever you want to come on, you've got an open invitation.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is the next rewatch anyway. Miracle on 34th Street. And I'm following that with the Alistair Sim Christmas Carol or Scrooge, depending on what they were calling it. But it is the Alistair Sim version. So looking forward to watching those.
I remember that one from being a kid.
And you never know, I might pop up with something else. But those are the 2 official Saturday night rewatches on my channel coming up. And I've already got New Year's Eve, which is going to be When Harry Met Sally, and I've already got January and February figured out. I'll share that later because something might change, but I'll tell you guys before I sign off. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Do you guys have any final words?
Well, you know what I always say. We can talk amongst ourselves, and that's all well, good, and fun, and we have a great time. But it's so much more fun when you guys are joining us in the chat. You're dropping your comments, your questions, your trivia, and just being there with us. It seems more like you're actually in the same room with us rather than just being in the chat. Yep. You guys aren't just friends to us, you're family too. We love you guys. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next time.
And speaking of the chat, Connie Cleary, hello. A little late, sorry, we're about to sign off. But you can always rewatch us later and put in your version of the Tangerine Dream soundtrack version, US version of Legend, and listen to our rambling and have a lot of fun. But yeah, thanks everyone. I hope you have a great rest of the weekend. Have a very, very happy, safe, healthy, and wonderful Thanksgiving. God bless you all, and take care.